if you could label it.
Well, I'm still
We'll
working on
provide
it.
reference images.
I'm
actually
working
going
on
to
that.
bring Mikuma first this time. I'm just going to rush up north.
Understandable.
Miku.
Especially
Miku.
considering this is a 6.0 game.
Yeah, the Hyuga next to us and the Maria somewhere else are kinda... right next to him as well. Yeah, and the Westfalen.
I'm going to get bumped by the Westfalen, aren't I?
I'm sorry.
I'm going to try to turn and tack in behind this Hyuga. It's going to probably... The Westfalen's probably going to bump me just a little bit. Oh no, maybe I can fully dodge. Yes, I can fully dodge.
Well, the Northampton that I'm about to ram seems to have had the same idea as me anyway.
Be advised, you may want to sort of pivot around like I did so that you can tack in front of the Westfalen and behind the...
yeah,
Hyuga.
I'm just presently trying to miss the Westfalen is the hard part.
Oh no, like turn so that even if it hits you, he sort of helps pivot your ship, basically.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nice. More variations to spawn points. Yeah, that'd be neat. I don't know if that's really a priority compared to like adjusting the actual spawns. Or does he mean spawn points as in the point of spawn rather than the spawn point gain?
He means literally the place that we are spawning at.
Okay, that I agree with then. Yeah, because I thought he meant like the spawn point cost, because that's...
I mean, that would be nice too if they made BBs. Like, I think Naval would benefit a great deal in just gameplay terms from having a tank-style spawn cost of heavies, mediums, lights, etc.
I agree. Yeah, I think that would at least mitigate a lot of the shit, which is
one-sided
naval
instantness.
Yeah. In addition, though, I think that's... Yeah, like, if they even requisition the stuff that they use from Naval EC, where, like... That would be nice. Although I'm guessing that right now, Naval's still in beta, technically it's in OBT right now. They're probably going to figure that out as time goes on. Where right now they're sort of still... They haven't even yet reached the ceiling. So, we're just in a very painful, excruciating, long format open beta.
Well, I mean, I think the
as much as I hate
CBT
to say it.
description is pretty appropriate.
Yes, it is an OBT and CBT, and it also
This is
feels like
pretty
CBT.
torturous.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just noticed something else. You know how
Okay.
they haven't
Well,
bothered
yeah.
modeling all of the 40mm directors for Baltimore as directors?
Yes.
They haven't even bothered putting blokes on them.
Yeah.
Is Baltimore a good girl, Jerome? A very good girl.
What are you talking about? It's just an RCS. Or not RCS, RFS, there we go. Remote firing system.
Remote?
Yes, so for example, this is what the PGO2 has. It's called an RFS, remote firing system.
Yeah, but the
So
guns are manned.
Not on the PGO2. Oh,
Wait. You know, how many people does it take to crew a 40mm quad mount?
That's a good question. How
About
many?
16.
How many are
Oh.
there on
One.
Lord.
What a lad, what a lad.
The
What
man
a
is
lad.
somehow elevating and traversing the guns when he only has one half of the controls, and he's
I'll
somehow
check in the
feeding
DM to
them
see
as
How
well.
many people are actually in the...
It's probably
Yeah.
more, yeah, like 15 something. Yeah.
This is the sort of thing, by the way. Sorry, I am interjecting suddenly, but this is the sort of thing that makes people go the MG42 was the best machine gun of the war. Like, because they go into a video game and they see that one person is controlling the entire thing, right? And they go, oh, rate of fire, yeah, it's better. And then you realize that, oh, to manage an MG42 took like an entire fucking squad for one.
Well,
know?
that's the thing, is that it was discovered at the end of the First World War that automatic firepower was substantially greater than the firepower brought by a rifleman. Therefore, a
Yes.
squad of men armed with automatic weapons would be substantially more powerful than a squad of men armed with non-automatic weapons. However,
Right, exactly.
that's damned expensive.
Yes, well, the thing is that you compare when people the classic discussion is behind the Bren versus the MG42, right? And you hear about
I'd rather have a Bren.
basically the Bren is useful because you can have more than one Bren per rifle squad in theory, although in practice no. But
Well, no,
you could.
because that was the point. The doctrine was that you had that everybody
It's
was there to
also
support the
far
Bren
more
gun.
manageable. Yeah, and the thing is, every single dude can carry it, whereas you need to really essentially, in order for a rifle squad for the Germans to operate an MG42, you need to allocate 2 people dedicated to carrying replacement barrels and links. They weren't riflemen; they were just dudes with links and barrels.
Whereas with the Bren,
you had every rifleman had ammo for the Bren.
And everyone was trained on the Bren. If the Bren gunner died, you took it over.
Yes, but that means that the Bren was a lot more modular, adaptable, and every single member of the rifle squad could shoot the guys if they needed.
Yep.
They could still fight, whereas with an MG42, it's both less mobile, less flexible, and you have 2 people playing. Basically, it's a 3-man gun.
Does anybody else want to shoot at this boat?
I don't have a line of sight on him, so I'm just waiting till I turn the corner. But yeah, this is an example of why, I don't know how this would translate to the Bofors 40mm, but a good example of why the Bofors 40mm is not a one-man job, right? And this is the reason why the reason why the MG42 is misrepresented is because it's a one-man weapon in most video games, basically. I don't know how this would actually translate to the Bofors. I just thought this was an interesting comment about
how
the misrepresentation or mischaracterization. In this case, I don't think it translates well because most naval guns are multi-man operations anyways. So it's not like you can really say, oh, the Bofors is superior because it's one-man job. No, they were all multi-man jobs.
Well, it's also the fact that there are 4 chairs and there is only one bloke in one of them.
Yeah, that's like a mild model error critique, but
it's just kind of annoying.
I'm going to quickly check. What ship are you in again?
Baltimore.
Oh yeah, Baltimore. I'm going to quickly check.
I swear there used to be more.
Oh.
I want to check how many crew there are.
Well, the crew listing for Baltimore is 1,560.
Oh, no, I mean the crew distributed per gun.
Basically, you're telling me how chunky that one bloke is.
Yeah, well, one sec. I'll do this after the battle. I'm already in a bit of Did the boat die by chance?
Yeah, finally.
Okay.
There's also a Hugo right there.
Destroy the target.
It's the same one from last match.
Okay. Right now I'm honestly a bit less worried about that. I'm chiefly worried about the caps.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Hello, PT-20.
Should we split, or...
Destroy the target. We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning.
I'm going to rush A. If somebody can go rush B, I think we'll have a...
Actually, I'll go to A with you. Mag, see if you can take your Helena.
Not so sure about that.
Well, there's 2 of you and there's 2 of us. So.
I'm being mildly fired upon.
Attack the B point.
I think that PT-20 fucked off somewhere. Or either that or he's around the corner waiting for me to...
Yeah, probably.
Attack the enemy.
Can't
In that
say
case,
him
I'm
that.
going to tack in a preparatory measure to... Yeah, there he is. There you are, you motherfucker.
He launched a torp.
Yeah. And it's nowhere close.
Somebody attack him.
That was a valiant effort, but this isn't World of Warships. Torpedoes are not that fast.
Oh, there's another one. On A.
Yeah. That was the one I sent a pot shot at and whiffed it.
Okay, swapping to 5-inch. Never
It
mind.
connected. I am a little worried about how close that money
Attack
is.
the enemy.
Also, the Hugo is now turning to
Paris
us.
Commune just killed itself.
Oh god.
Oh
and
dear,
the-
that Maria is starting to turn to look at me.
Pop
the
smoke.
Hugo
Maria.
is now.
Oh, there's a
I'm not
Maria
pop
right
smoke.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I'm
That's
not
not gonna
really
help.
keen on going on B.
The enemy will win.
Oh, he whiffed. Thank fuck he whiffed.
Oh,
So did I.
Reloading.
Wait, how is that the bearing you want me to shoot at?
Well done.
I try B, but I'm going to die.
Oh, it's that area.
Stay safe for now.
No, go for A.
Yeah, you
B8,
go for A.
B8.
We'll see if we can distract him.
We have a PGO2 going A as well, and he might get there before I do.
Still, our objective
Yep.
is to let that boat get to the point.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, I might be able to take B. I might pivot into B right now, and yes, I'll be running right into the Maria, but the idea being that if I can even get
Yep.
half of my ship on
Well-
and decap...
I just took a shell to my absolute nose, so the rest of my ship is on fire.
Yeah, no, that's why
There's
I'm
the
considering
there's the B8 coming in.
P8.
B8, yep.
That's worrying. Oh, that's low. Holy crap. That is low.
I mean,
Please
I'm
export
targeting
it.
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's still a distance out, to be
Attack the
fair.
enemy!
Yeah, he's going to be close. 5 kilometers now.
My HEDF is a pathetic attempt to deal with him, but he's actually at the ranges where I'll probably die. But oh, beautiful.
He's still gonna kill
dead.
me. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think
Oh,
he can get the bomb off in time. It's gonna be on me. I'm dead.
Oh, there's a Maria on B.
Oh, that bomb is big. Hello, goodbye.
Gunners are
Ouch.
searching for airborne and surface targets.
Okay, we do need now somebody to push B.
Seeing this fire, I'm being fired at by battleships. Oh, the Mikuma got the Dante, nice.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
And
That
now
is a
the guy
beautiful
should distract the Maria on B so that I can cap it. That's... Shall I try overpressuring his turrets? Probably won't work.
If you can do so with relative impunity, as in if he doesn't turn his turrets to respond to you, and if you can, aim for the top of the turret, because that's the easiest way to pressure it. It achieves the greatest amount of area for the effect to occur, and strikes as
okay,
many
one.
modules as possible.
One down.
Nice.
Didn't work, but at least take out some barrels. Too bad Chapar does not have torpedoes. Maybe it was the P2.
Yeah, the
Oh,
US really doesn't have a boat worth using, does it?
Yeah, the PT-8, 10, and 811 are your best candidates, but that's not exactly a great
There's the
pick.
fucking Hugo looking at me.
Destroy the target.
Oh god.
Yeah, the
Ah.
best candidates, but
Attack the enemy!
Like,
less than
they're not
6
bad
knots
for their own
faster than a
VR.
Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, the main reason you want them is not just because of their speed, it's also because of their position.
Well, the
The
torch
PT
is
spawn
useful.
point. The torps are also very useful, but the spawn position and speed are the two big things. The next most important thing for a fast attack craft is, ironically, is guns, because you have to beat off the enemy PT boats, basically, right? And then finally, if you have them, it's not mandatory, but if you have them, torpedoes are also nice. But that's sort of in terms of the. I hate using the term tactical onion because it reminds me of that meme. But in terms of the layers of engagement, the importance
Hurt.
is speed, firepower, and gun firepower, and then
Allied forces
auxiliary
have captured
firepower.
a zone.
So it's not just torpedoes, but missiles are also in that category of auxiliary because guns are still more important than missiles to deal with boats, right? Like the Netuno missiles on the Saeta, they can absolutely slap PT boats, and they have a definite use in that regard. But I would still probably take Freccia for dedicated anti-PT, like anti-PT boat fast attack craft cap contesting, because it's just so much better for that.
Max, I hope you value your flotation and your position. There is a Hugo on the opposite side of that island.
But all the battleships are shooting at me.
Yeah,
And peppering the Maria.
oh, that Maria. Right.
Yes.
The one that is quite literally just around the island.
Yeah.
I've decided to switch to HE just to see if that does anything to him.
Doesn't.
Well, I've taken his attention. Oh no.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that lasted a long time, didn't it? Okay,
Highly
should I go left or should I go right?
Hold position. I'm bringing a G8 in.
I was going to torp him.
Oh,
Oh, there's Cleveland.
you're in what exactly?
I've got 4 Mark 16s.
Oh, in that case, just wait for him to push.
He
Ships
is
have
pushing.
a hard. Yeah, then just wait for him to push and sort of set yourself up so that you will not be under gunfire the moment you
No.
drop your torpedoes.
There's a Cleveland out there, Jerome. Behind.
Yep, well, that's
There.
fine.
Want me to drop? Wait, which one's the Hugo?
The Hugo is the one that is not right next to me.
Is it the one that Jorm's Mags is shooting at?
Possibly.
No,
Max,
I'm shooting at the
can you ping
Cleveland.
the? Okay, can you ping them?
This is the Maria.
I don't see the Hugo. Wait.
Okay. Oh, I see him.
Oh.
I see him.
Oh, there's the Hugo.
I'm actually disengaging for a bit until you guys can kill that cleave.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave
Okay,
you
let's
guys
try
to kill
killing the
cleave.
Hugo.
We're sinking.
Oh no, focus the cleave, please, so I can actually
Start
bomb the
searching for
Hugo.
airborne targets.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, he is behind the cover. So it's Hugo now.
Oh dear. Maybe I'll try a low angle approach then. I don't know. This is gonna be really weird to try to tackle this Hugo. Because I'm in a 4-engine bomber right now, so I'm not exactly... Like, I can fuck a Hugo well, but the Cleveland's sort of keeping him safe. You know?
Yeah, almost like cruiser escorts for battleships were actually a thing.
Yup.
Almost like
this
AA
is the
in this
strangest
game.
escort, though, because we have a World War II American World War II cruiser
From 1942.
escorting a 1920 fit of a 1918 1918
Whatever.
battleship. One of those, yeah.
Aww.
I'm gonna try to use the cloud cover. I don't know, because I do believe gunners are maybe they do have some blindness, but
Laid down 1915.
I don't remember if it was clouds that actually obscure their ability to fire. If it is, then that's fantastic, because then I have cloud cover to actually perform a strike. But if not, then I have to use hard terrain, and I'm not in a position where Hugo's an easy target to strike in that regard.
TF Pro in front of you is going to try and get the Hugo.
I don't trust an SPD to do it.
True, but there are also more battleships.
Fair, but I'm closest to this one, and there's also a PT boat rushing.
Oh, and there's a Dante
Hey.
over there. Oh, good.
I am dropping. Okay, Hugo should be dead meat. Yeah, the
Nice.
SPD also died. This Hugo is not dead. He ate that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He ate that really well, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have aimed so close to the bow. Should have led a little bit back, or led less, as the term is. He ate that very well, though. I am very disappointed in that bomb.
Attention to the map!
Gaijin Wen give us the 1,500 kilogram AP bombs.
Gaijin
It
when
should
make
make them viable.
the AP bombs work.
Yes, that's the secondary request, but
That's a secondary request.
When does this HE bomb not punch through a 6-inch protective deck?
yeah. It would be very sort of interesting because to use the 800 kilogram AP bomb optimally to penetrate a battleship deck took about 3 kilometers, which means you'd need a pretty amount of altitude to use it properly.
Somebody attack him. Enemy forces have captured a zone.
Well, they also don't like giving you the appropriate altitude.
Yeah. Oh, we're in a bit of a
Oh,
spicy
no.
pickle.
I hear bombs,
Wait,
I
what?
think. I heard a bomb.
There's a brigand. All the way up there.
Attack the enemy!
8k out for me.
Yeah. Admittedly, I can't really hear much since someone has decided that they need to stand there and, like, hair dry right outside the door or something.
I have my window open. There's a busy street outside, but that's about it.
Said hairdryer has miraculously turned off now.
Aha.
Target confirmed.
How is the defensive B going, by the way? As far as like...
There's like 3 battleships coming.
Oh boy, I probably shouldn't have... I was thinking, oh, we have to fight the PT boats, so I'll bring the Suga to... Mistake.
Fire on board.
Yeah, that's a Hugo just blowing me up now.
Oh dear.
Why is my phone going off?
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
The heck.
Most of the zones are under enemy's control.
The enemy ship sank. Done.
This time the enemy has proven stronger. Withdraw.
Oh well, we tried.
Was a valiant effort.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I got 2 kills randomly at the end of it.
Spicy.
I put a
Which is
shell
better than
through the
nothing.
Hugo superstructure, and it died.
Now.
And then I hit a Cleveland and did nothing to it, and then 5 seconds later it died.
Fire spread, I
Fire.
guess? I don't know.
I didn't
Fires?
set a fire on the Cleveland, I set a fire on the Hugo, but I literally put a shell through its mast.
No,
I
probably
see.
because you would overfun the last one guy who hit him, so that's why the fire
Yeah,
ticking
but-
created you to kill.
Well, I set a fire, but I put a shell in, like, his bridge or something, and the ship exploded.
Hmm.
So I'm just sitting here constantly going, what is going on?
Yeah, understandable
Just
sentiment at this
accept
point.
Just accept it. Just accept it.
I'm more just accepting the fact that I have managed to not lose money today so far.
Nice. That is progress.
It's because I'm only using vehicles that I'm using backups on,
Fair.
because otherwise I'd be losing 40 grand a match.
Quite fair.
Even more if I was using Wyoming.
I want to... Let's see. I do want Pittsburgh, but I want to get Alba out of the way first, but I don't really want to play Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally grinding Pittsburgh, and then I have Setsu and Alba to grind for Japan.
Setsu and Alba.
I have 50k more left on Setsu than I have to start Alba with.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't particularly want to play Japan.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think I've mentioned this before, but there's 5 ships in the Blue Water Tree that I think for Japan are worth using. Mikuma, Tone, Suzuya, Mogami, Hyuga. That's it. Right? Everything below, the only other useful one is probably Yugure. Because she's the best AA piece Japan has, just bar none. So that's it. So I guess in total, 6 ships, of which 4 are rank 5, 1 is a rank 4 premium, and the other one's an event vehicle.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend playing Japan for new players. As when it comes to playing the Blue Water Trees of any nation, I say Italy is actually a great pick, because 4.7 is where Italy stops sucking, right? Although granted, you have to get past Leone. You have to
get past the suck.
Yes.
Well,
It's not even like the first
4.
rank 4s. It's like Barto, Regolo, and then Trento. Trento is just obscene, right? But what's super nice about the Italian line is that it's actually relatively quick to do that. And more importantly, Trento efficiently grinds rank 5. Which means you don't have to meet battleships, and you get to play a heavy cruiser. And you get to grind rank 5. You get to get your Dante off the back of a fucking 4.7.
Which, I mean, the US gets Northampton to do that with, but...
That's 5.0. It's still very good. It's just... It doesn't get the immunity phase, so to speak. The US is the inverse, where it's stupid good from 4.0 to 4.7. You just don't think WM1. But then you get to 5.0 and enjoy the Trent and then rally, have fun there. You know, it gets better with the Atlanta, Cleveland, and Brooklyn, right? It becomes a lot more comfortable, but there's a 5.0 shit period where outside of playing the Somers, you're gonna have a really bad day. So it's probably better you just stick with Porter, right? You grind
Porter,
out
Sumner.
Yeah, you just grind out Atlanta and Northampton with those things, and save yourself the trouble.
Yeah.
And then you can use the US rank 4, which is a lot better. And then you can finally grind. The biggest problem with the US is just how much of a wall of high RP cruisers there are.
Well, it's not
It's
just
a lot
high
more-
RP, it's high repair.
Yeah, that's definitely the economics is another factor, but just in terms of the raw time to grind, it is lengthy.
Cleveland, 20k stock, or 18k stock. Brooklyn, 34k stock.
Yeah, and the biggest problem
Not
is
stock,
less the fact that it's a long grind. It's more the fact that you only really need to grind Wyoming, and because North Dakota sucks ass, and Wyoming is good, but not best. So you're spending a lot of elbow grease to get a good but not great ship.
Also, didn't we report 12-inch Mark 15 specifically as being an AP CBC shell?
I think I didn't actually do that. I don't remember why I didn't do that.
Because they changed it to being not ballistic capped.
Yeah, we should probably deal with that.
And also, as said, Wyoming's armor scheme is about as correct as Chinese politics.
Yeah, no, I get you. That one, you guys are gonna have to finish up drafting at least
That's the
which
thing.
parts do go where, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Well, that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about with that. Because so much is buggered on it, it's not funny.
I get you. Yeah, that's
Like, her forward... Okay, Friedland's book states that there are 3 armor decks. Yeah?
okay.
So, forward of the casemates, you have 3 armor decks. Second deck, the half deck, and third deck.
Right.
Third deck is the armor deck, right, which is a splinter deck that goes through the entire ship, yeah?
Right.
And is the...
It's already a problem that there's the way that this is compartmentalized doesn't really feel like there's the armor deck, so to speak.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's very segmented.
So, you have... Second deck is an armor deck across the entire ship, which is literally just the first deck down from the main deck. For the forward half of the ship, the half deck, which is the deck that's below second deck but above third deck, but because of the fact that third deck and because of the fact that these ships have a continuous line from the bow to the stern, there's no forecastle, there's a funky wonkiness with the decks, meaning that there's an extra deck on the front but not at the back, so the back goes main 2, 3, etc. But the front goes main, 2, 2.5, 3.
Okay, you're gonna have to lay this out in diagram. I can't
Yeah.
really follow it visually with just verbs, or
Yeah,
just verbally.
yeah.
So to
Well,
speak.
are you actually looking at Wyoming in game?
Yes, I'm currently looking at Wyoming, but I think it'd be
Okay,
easier
that would
if
be
you just gave me a
helpful.
diagram because
So basically,
I'm not gonna I'm gonna be clear. I'm not gonna follow this very well.
the triangle at the front of the ship.
You should stream your screen so that you can see
Well,
what you.
I guess that I could try that, but that's not necessarily going to be the most
Oh no,
helpful.
I mean it would be easier if you just set up a diagram in Google Doc, basically.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is I'm not having
did
much
that.
luck trying to figure that out. I have done that and linked.
I mean,
right.
I can see what you're doing. in Google Doc.
It'd be nice if the stupid picture would be higher resolution, but
It would be a lot easier if you just took snippets of the picture and lined them up, the sections, to reference screenshots in game, which are
that's
also
the
snipped.
issue. I'm not really an artist.
Oh no, you just need
and
to take the screen caps and then toss them into Google Doc and just.
I'm also
sort of
trying to
keep them
figure
next to
out
each other.
precisely how this stupid thing works, because Friedman references there being armor on second deck, the half deck, and third deck. But basically, as far as I can tell, that red line is armor the entire way across. The blue line at the forward part is the level of the as in the middle blue line.
Mhm.
That is the half deck. That's the top of the forward. That's the top of the citadel at the front. Once you get to the B turret, the jump from that dull blue line to the other dull blue line is the bulkhead for the casemates. And then you get the deck on top of the casemates. But the deck forward of the casemates is also apparently armoured to some extent, but the barbettes don't thin down until they get below the height of that forward bulkhead. And there's an armor deck across the forward bulkhead. The issue in game is that the present armor deck that is there is that top blue line, and the barbettes are thinned down below the top blue line and not the middle blue line. And that the middle blue line doesn't exist, meaning that you have a full deck height between the forward bulkhead and the barbette, where there is no armor deck, and the barbettes are thinned down to their within citadel thickness. So you can just go to the front of a Wyoming and lob a shell straight in and go through the barbette because it's 4 inches thick, when it should have an 11-inch plate in front of it.
Oopsie daisy.
Cool.
So, if nothing else, right, because I can't figure out how these stupid decks go right now, it's confusing the hell out of me, the armor deck at the forward 2 barbettes needs to be dropped to the height of the main belt. The 10-inch barbette needs to come with it, and the 11-inch plate at the casemates, where the B turret meets, where the armor wings out from B turret to the belt, needs to be commensurate in that change.
Fair enough. I'm looking at this from a design perspective. What I noticed is that the developers designed, like, it looks like they took this ship and they made it as sort of protected as they could conceive it to be. They've taken extra steps to, for example, the barbette decks are 6 inches, and not only that, they extend up into the turrets,
What?
providing gun shielding. On the Wyoming, the main guns,
Yeah.
they're barbettes. They have deck plating that's
Yeah.
6 inches thick, that then that extends up into the turret
And surrounds
as a
the gun
singular
holes.
piece. Yeah, which essentially provides them with a homogeneous single piece protection system, which
Yeah.
of course isn't what it looks like in real life, but it's notable that I think that the way that they went with this is they actually looked at this from a game design perspective first, with the assumption that if they need to do any adjustments, then they'll be bug reported, which,
Yeah.
you know, they probably will be. But
And then
I think that the way that they took this Wyoming is they went, we want this to be a tank. It's wide, it's thick,
we want this
and
to
not
be a
only is it
tank.
armored, but every single armor compartment covers its, like,
Haha.
It's
The
like every
88
game.
Look,
no. It's,
look at
is
this from
definitely
the
tankiest
front.
battleship in the game.
Look at this from the front.
Right, it has exposure, but you can go full broadside, right, and just eat hits for days.
You can go full broadside and take a single shell to a Maria and die because your forward magazines explode. Because it goes
if they
straight through the
magazines,
hole.
I'd be sure, but don't tell me
That
that
happens
the
to me
Wyoming is
constantly.
not tanky. That,
Fragment, right.
Just to be clear, don't tell me the Wyoming's not tanky.
It's not tanky.
It is easily. It's easily the tankiest battleship in the game. There is no.
Okay. My service record for Wyoming, right? I have taken Wyoming out into 16 matches. I have 15 deaths in it.
That's unfortunate, but I've both played against her frequently.
I have 18
and
kills.
Stress tested against her. She eats fragmentation better than any other battleship. There
News
isn't
to
a
me.
battleship better.
I take torpedoes, I explode. I take shells from anything, I explode.
Unfortunate, I suppose, but I have tested this thoroughly. There isn't a battleship tank you. So whatever misfortune you have in her, any other ship put in the exact same position would have a far worse time.
I
There
would
is not
rather
a
play
ship-
Hugo with her 2.1 armor scheme.
Huga is not very tanky by contrast in
No,
any capacity.
but
She's a thinner ship with more
I had
module exposure.
less issues with Hugo's 2.1 armor scheme of everything is broken and she has a 4-inch belt than I have been having with Wyoming and this hole in the front.
I'm wondering if that's because you've been fighting more battleships recently, or I'm not
I've been
sure if
getting
that's
killed
really,
by destroyers.
I guess that's unfortunate. Again, I don't get it because every single test I've done, and this is not even just with
Yes,
my own
but
battle
you
experience,
also
which is
don't get how
there.
I get killed by planes, so...
Yes, because we've even been in the battle recently, and
We've
the
been in a
worst of
battle
it was me
recently, and I've only managed to kill a plane because I touched it once and it flew into an island.
you saw me slapping planes myself. It's not that hard.
Did I?
Yes, I've killed at least a half dozen up through this point, and we've played how many games? It's not that hard.
5,
The worst,
maybe?
the only plane I died to here was a low-flying P-8 in my Japanese cruiser with no AA.
I have to say, that
Shocker. And that plane still died to Helena.
I haven't been killed by a plane yet, which is odd, because out of the 16 matches I've played this match prior to today, I died to a plane in at least 1 in 3 of them.
Okay, yeah, so my experience with dealing with planes is very different. And maybe it's partially because of how I play in terms of where I position, but I like to pivot into... I'm guessing that you do this too, where you sort of look at which islands to hug, right? And you go, I jump from this island to this island to this island to this island moving forward.
I tend to try and maintain range as well, because, yeah.
Well, how I do it is I then set up so that when I get to an island, I get a bit of an opportunity to scan the horizon, so to speak. And so every time I do that, I go, oh, well, there's a plane. And usually audio EQ or the arrow also tells me anyways, so I have a lot of tools at my disposal to scan for and deal with aircraft. And especially when I'm in anything with VT, especially USN, I don't really struggle with planes as a consequence, because I can catch them 6-7 kilometers away, and I can sort of preemptively set my gunners up. I usually turn them off before 5 kilometers, turn them on at 5, and then X target at 5.
We've been fortunate enough to be getting matches where we're not on the really tight maps, and if we have been on the really tight maps, there have been
African
enough...
Gulf was not really the best for air AA because of all basically where I was shooting down planes.
Yeah.
And
do you want to ready up?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the US this time.
Okay.
Or maybe Russia. Do you want to bring in a Wyoming and I'll bring in a...
Sure, I'll bring Wyoming.
Yeah, because if we're dealing with this anyways, I'll just play quote-unquote meta. I don't get to play as much of the AA or the ships I really like, but whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, so Wyoming has a massive great hole in her face, and actually...
Also, don't forget that the Maria sub pens like 90 millimeters.
Yeah, the Maria sat pens like twice as far as it should.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I also, in fragments. So
yeah, the thing is, just to be clear, I don't think anything takes SAP well, but I would say that if there's anything that takes it better, it would always be the Wyoming. It is definitely the tankiest of any battleship, really. It's got such a wide berth to it that shells will fuse prematurely, and the way that they've set up the deck plating is that it sort of compartmentalizes projectile fragmentation very well.
But the deck plating is also all wrong.
It's wrong, but it's also very beneficial.
It's wrong in the sense of it's missing lots of it.
Oh, well then it could even get better, I guess. But the point is the way the game designers made it, it's one of the few ships that I would argue is designed from the ground up to be very tanky.
Well-
And that's in contrast to ships that are traditionally tanky in this game, like Westfalen and even to a certain extent Maria.
Well, Wyoming is the epitome of American pre-all-or-nothing armor, right? It's intended
so,
to
yeah.
defeat flooding at the waterline and to stop shrapnel. But
It's I mean, it's got very good shrapnel protection for in-game, like for her peers. Her layout is a lot better suited for that. Most other
But-
battleships in this game are thinner, which is the big thing, and as a result, all their modules are really cramped.
the issue being, though, that we're missing a lot of her armor, though in places she has too much armor. Like, her turret roofs are actually like half again as thick as they should be, as is the conning tower. The bulkhead on her rear side, as in closing the citadel off on the back, is 2 inches thicker than it should be.
Right.
Um,
But you can see from the geometry that the developers basically went, wherever there's a shift in the armor, we're going to add a plate, actually.
yeah, but then they've also
Which-
put them in the wrong place. Like,
Right, it's in the wrong
there's-
place, but you can kind of see what their logic was, right?
They've got massive gaps. There's a random spot at the back of the boiler room where there's just a step for some reason, when it shouldn't be a step, it's a smooth transition. There is basically just a smooth slope for that entire deck.
Ah, that's
Um,
that will actually be a significant buff because armor doesn't, shells won't catch into that armor basically.
Yeah. And like there is a slight bump there, but it's not a step. Like, if I just send you this
Right.
picture quickly,
This is also
Um,
why I want like sort of side by side comparisons because I can easily. Oh. Yeah, no, that's just
in
a
game
line.
that goes straight to the end of the boiler room and then just steps down to the height of the on the left.
Interesting. That's a.
And
That's
that's-
actually
that's an
probably
armor
the better
deck.
way they could have done it compared to making it go lower and then jump up at the very end. I don't know.
It
But yeah, that definitely needs to be adjusted because
Yeah.
a sloped plate like
And
that is actually.
it
more-
also just adjusts in thickness randomly. Like, there's just a straight line straight across the back of the boiler room on that deck, which goes all the way to the rear casemate armor.
Right.
As in, the deck thickness over that area should be the same to the rear of that armor. It wouldn't make sense for it
Yes.
to be to be different inside that compartment, but they just
Right.
decided to have a straight line across the middle of the ship. So yeah,
That's that's
Like-
a bit quirky.
side armor is fine. Deck armor is buggered to all hell, and the end armor and the roof armor, but anything horizontal is just off.